Hey, somebody needs to dust off home plate. You have? Excellent. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. You are listening to The Professional Noticer. Hello, everyone. I'm Andy Andrews. Thank you for making me a part of your week. My purpose here today and with every show we do is to play the part of a best friend or a coach. I want to help you live the life of your wildest dreams by giving you access to the greatest mentors the world has to offer today. This week, The Professional Noticer is sponsored by WisdomHarbor.com. Today, families and school systems all over America are finding WisdomHarbor.com's one-of-a-kind streaming service to be the perfect, low-cost, high-quality educational tool for their students. Wisdom Harbor's stated responsibility is to create the next greatest generation, starting with your hometown and your school system. For less than $3 a month per teacher, classrooms have access to original content only found on WisdomHarbor.com that teaches, entertains, and builds character in young people while creating conversations between young people and the adults in their community. Utilizing video, audio, and the written word, content is delivered in small bites by Grammy winners, CEOs, comedians, chefs, best-selling authors, and Hall of Fame speakers. There are even guitar lessons from an award-winning songwriter. Check it out today and join your friends and neighbors who are already part of WisdomHarbor.com. And isn't it time your schools got involved? WisdomHarbor.com, creating America's next greatest generation, starting with your hometown. Observations and answers, that's what we do here on The Professional Noticer. And as you know, we love when somebody comes to the table with both, and especially when we have 5 people that come to the table with both. Today, we have a very special treat for me. I hope it's a treat for you, but I'm excited. I mean, I have with me the Bear Bryant of high school sports right here. This is Coach Alexander, and he is the guy in our state, in our nation. This is the Bear Bryant of high school sports. He is the coach of the girls softball team, the Orange Beach Makos, and we have here with you 4 of those Makos. We have Teagan, Daigle, KG, and Ava. See, I didn't think about it there, right there. But we are so excited because, and let me just show you this shirt before we get going. Okay, this is the state champion t-shirt, but you only do one even though you have won 3 state championships in a row. This is the back-to-back-to-back t-shirt. And Coach, you gave me a large, and I need an extra large. I wouldn't normally say anything about it, but I'm actually going to wear this, so I'll be, because as you know, I go to your games. My wife says, Polly says, you're just like a little child fan of this team. And I am.
And we appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I mean, and let me just kind of set the stage here for you guys, and then we're going to get everybody to talk. 3 years ago, Orange Beach High School was brand new. It was their first year. And you expect in the beginnings of high schools, especially for the teams, not to be that good. And so our girls softball team that had 7th and 8th graders on it, I mean, the 7th and 8th graders were the ones playing. They won the state championship. And you, Ava, hit the home run in the state championship game. That was the walk-off home run. And you were in the 7th grade.
Yes, sir.
It just seems ridiculous to me. So the 7th and 8th graders won the state championship. And everybody's going, okay, well, that's great. But, that kind of a fluke, right? and so then the next year, the 8th and 9th graders went out and did it again. And then this past year, the 9th and 10th graders went and did it again. And so now we have, Daigle, you and KG are in the 11th grade. You have 2 seasons left here. You guys are in the 10th grade. You have 3 seasons left. and you are the Bear Bryant of high school. I mean, so tell me, what do you think? I mean, when you go and practice with these young ladies, what do you?
Well, I knew that first year, it was a special group. The only thing I was worried about that first year was we had basically one pitcher. Justine was an 8th grader. And then, of course, Ava, she hits the home run. And then the next year.
So you have an 8th grade pitcher, a 7th grade power hitter going into the.
Yeah, we had one pitcher in the state tournament because the other one broke her big toe in the state tournament. So we rode an 8th grader through the state tournament. I mean, she was a competitor. And then the next year, Daigle's got the walk-off hit. We went back-to-back years with a walk-off hit to win it. You showed up that year, kind of mid-season. And I kind of knew when she showed up, I was like, okay, here we go.
You're the new girl, and you've been here 3 years.
Yeah.
These guys have been here practically their whole life. But KG is the pitcher. So it's just to make sure everybody knows where KG is the pitcher. She throws 180 miles an hour. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's...
Ava's the catcher.
Yeah.
Power hitter. So 11th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade. Daigle is the shortstop.
Yeah.
And Teagan is second base. And you guys, I mean, I'm not kidding. I'm going to go home tonight and say, guess who I talked to today?
Yeah.
So keep telling me, how did this unfold?
Well, we've had, of course, they're very good players. I mean, this is my 27th year. Best players I've ever coached. Usually in a coaching career, you might get one or two spread out, but to have them all together.
Right.
And then obviously we've got, besides KG, we've got Justine and Caitlin, who are very capable pitchers. We've moved them around. Teagan and Ava were catchers, third baseman. We had a third baseman show up, so we moved Teagan to set. We've had pieces that kind of complemented being around them. But when you got a core like this, it's easy on my end.
And I've been a baseball fan all my life, but I've been a softball fan for 3 years, and a lot of the things carry over. For one thing is that strong up the middle thing, And if you look at a field, you want those up the middle people to be very strong. We got the catcher, the pitcher, the shortstop, second baseman, and your center fielder last year was an 8th grader.
Hit a home run in the championship game.
I also heard that she hit a home run against Thompson High School, and that pitcher had already committed where?
I think to Auburn.
To Auburn. So the pitcher already committed to Auburn, and the 8th grader took her over the fence. And what were you guys saying in the dugout?
Yeah.
She's in middle school.
Yeah. That was fun.
So,
go ahead.
Well, I mean, they're a great example for our younger kids. So, you get these younger kids in who watch how they work, and they see them doing extra BP, extra pitching, and so the younger ones are like, well, that's the way it should be done.
Right.
So they kind of fall in line, and like I said, it makes our job really, really easy. But I think 1 through 9, we've got very good players. Caitlin just committed, our first baseman pitcher. Justine's going to commit somewhere. She was hurt last year.
Right.
So she didn't pitch a whole lot. But we've got Fallon BB. She committed. So
now and you got to understand, these girls are committing. I mean, these colleges are after them as early as they can possibly get them to commit. And so they're committing before the 11th grade.
Yeah, they can commit going into their junior year.
Right. So you've committed to Auburn.
Yeah.
KG, you've committed to South Carolina. And you guys aren't even going to tell anybody where you're thinking about right now. but I've looked, and both of you guys are like top of your class in the nation in recruiting, Max Prep Sports. So I mean, they must look and think, what is in the water here?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a college coach contact me and said, I'll take anybody you got. You know, they were like, yeah, well, I'll take anybody you got. So, you know, besides them, I feel like we have the best hitting coach in the Southeast, her dad. You know, he's been with me day one. We're very fortunate to have Coach Hodo, or not Coach Hodo, Coach Boyd, who's probably the best infield coach
right
in the Southeast, maybe the nation.
She played where?
She played at Arizona State. She was 4-time All-American, won a national championship, was on the U.S. select team. I mean,
I love her. I would love watching you and her. You know, your dad sits more over in the dugout, but I watch you and her. And there was one game toward the end of the season. You guys are so calm. You're so calm, but we had one game. You hear that? We won. And so we had one game toward the end of the season that one of the umpires had just made some just horrendous calls, and I wanted to get a video of you and her walking off the field because both of you were just sniping over your shoulders. And I don't see that very much, but this was so obvious. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's, you know, we try to, you know, we don't want to get too high, too low because, you know, we want them to play at that level. So
right.
You know, sometimes it's hard, but yeah.
One of the things that I've noticed is that you guys are extremely well coached. Now, I know I've been teasing about the Bear Bryant of high school sports. Kind of teasing, I really mean it. But you know, when they get on base, they look the same. They get ready for the next pitch the same. They and they're smart running the bases, very aggressive running the bases, but they're smart running the bases. I asked Matt, your dad, I said, I don't mean to say anything about your daughter or anything, but these girls all slide head first. I mean, you know, are they wearing anything? He said, no, you know, they're just, because it seems like 80% of the slides I see you guys do, you're sliding head first, especially you. How many bases did Daigle steal?
Oh gosh, she was it 70 something last year?
I think so.
70 something the year before. We're trying to get her to 100.
Man, well, if you see, your dad and I sit in the stands and we talk about this because we could get you to 100 if you weren't so aggressive turning those singles into doubles. You know, if you would just stop at first base, because we've seen you steal second, seen you steal third, seen you steal home. If you just stop at first base every time, we get over 100 halfway through the season. Oh my gosh!
But yeah, we base run a lot. To me, that is sometimes that's the difference. In, you know, some teams are going to hit, some teams good defensively, but I feel like base running is that intangible that makes you a little bit different. So, you know, it's funny you say that. So me and Coach Boyd, we text every night. She said, Coach Boyd's very organized. So we'll talk at night. We'll text that, hey, what about tomorrow? And I'll say, hey, let's work on this, and this. And then she comes up with a plan. So one of the things we were talking about last night was sliding. So today we're going to work on sliding. So yes, the sliding, the base running, the 4-station base running, they do a lot of it. Plus a lot of it is they get that from the bolts. And so we kind of...
From the what?
Their travel teams.
Okay,
they're,
right.
You know, because Coach Boyd and Coach Hodo both were with the bolts. So we kind of incorporated a lot of that, especially for our younger kids. I mean, right. They all know what they're doing, but trying to get the younger kids to buy into that's what we're doing.
And it's great vision going to one game this year because I saw girls playing from a distance, and I was trying to see the colors, but then I realized, no, those girls are too little. But I went right by their field, and those were the 5th and 6th grade girls and boy, they were over there, but they were looking over at y'all's game. They must idolize you guys. So to have them coming on like that.
Yeah, we're starting a new program this year, Big Sis, Little Sis, where we're going to pair them up with somebody from the elementary school, and they'll get to come experience the pregame and just be around them and get them involved. And so
that is awesome.
So that's something we're going to do this year. And I mean, we've had 25, 30 kids already sign up. So
that is great.
They're going to write them a letter, and we'll have a Big Sis, Little Sis day. So just getting that younger generation to come watch, and hopefully one day they're the ones that are the big sisses. So,
one of the things that I saw when I talk about your team, I tell my friends, I said, they're unbelievably coached, and they're, I think coaching and smart decisions on the field go hand in hand. You can't be an idiot and you have a great coach and still make smart decisions. It's a combination, you got to be thinking. And I was sitting right behind home plate, and it was Daigle was on third, and the pitcher it was a pass ball. And so the catcher immediately turns to run after that ball that's gone to the backstop, and Daigle immediately breaks for home. And she doesn't know that ball has bounced off a board and right into the catcher's hand. I mean, she doesn't know when she breaks for home. But halfway home, she sees the catcher's got the ball, and the catcher's come toward the plate. The catcher's probably going to beat me to the plate. And so, if here's the plate, that catcher is jamming that mitt in right there where she's going to slide like she's supposed to. She's jamming that mitt there to the ground and reaching hard, and Daigle slides this way over here and hits the plate. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. A lot of that comes natural to a lot of these. So it's not like we've coached that. That's just, there's some things you can't coach, and they have a lot of those abilities that's just them. She's got the green light pretty much anytime she's on base. Teagan's the same way, as read it and go. So
Teagan, you guys are that shortstop, second shortstop, that thing where you kind of think it almost requires ESP sometimes. But I've seen you guys pull some double plays that I wish I could get video of some of that. It's just unbelievable. So how much do you, Teagan, how much do you rely on Daigle?
Oh, a lot, honestly. We and communicate a lot on the field. We're always talking back and forth.
So what are you saying? I see y'all talking. What are you saying?
Honestly, we just talk. Sometimes, no, I'm serious. Sometimes we just talk just to make sure we're still engaged in the game, and know we're still I don't know, we're just in it,
Yeah, just saying, hey, do you hear?
Mm-hmm.
You hear? Okay, all right, got to know what we got coming up. Just making sure everybody's paying attention.
Yep, letting each other know where we are, where we'll be going, where it's hit, if it is hit there, all that stuff.
What? I was at one game this year that you guys lost. One game. And it was against Dothan, against Houston Academy. I know everybody's going, whoa, yeah, because you had a bad call in that game, because I took a picture of it.
Yeah, we have a picture of it.
Yes.
I mean, I took the picture of you sliding, the catcher missing you. I mean, I've got the picture. And then that got them into extra innings, and they managed to push one across. And then you had to play later in the day. I watched you guys, and Joe Bullard was at that game, watching that game with me. And I watched you guys, and I was a little concerned just because you're not used to losing. And that was a tough one. And that was in the playoffs, which put you in a different bracket. You had to go on all the way through, and you had to play another game that day. Mm-hmm. So what was that like, Ava, to lose that when you're used to winning so much? And how did you guys come back? Because I'll go ahead and tell you, I sat there for the second game with Joe Bullard, and I said, you watch, they're gonna come back strong from this. And you're the leadoff batter, and you jacked one over the fence. You followed her. You jacked one over the fence. And I'm like, wow, here we go. So what was that like between the time of losing and starting the next game?
It was a tough loss, but we have played the team previous times. We knew we just had to show up and play how we knew how to play. We just had to reset. It was tough, but we knew we'd see them again. We just had to make it through regionals first.
And when you saw them again,
we really wanted to beat them.
You blistered them. Was that? I can't remember if it was a mercy rule game, but you guys blistered them, and that was in the state championships. Right?
Well, that was the third game.
The third.
That was the state championship game.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Pretty much, we felt like.
Yeah.
That. I don't think. Would we score 10, 11?
It was 10-9.
Yeah. And
it was back and forth.
But it's funny as you go back. The first year, we lost in the regionals to what was that team? GW Long. We lost in the regional finals to them, and then we saw them again in the state.
Because in the regional, 2 teams go.
Yeah, 2 teams. So we saw, and GW Long had a good pitcher that year. I think she went to Troy maybe. And so we saw them in the state tournament. And, second time, they blistered them. And that put us in the state championship game. So, and then this year, losing in that regional, I knew we'd see Houston Academy again. And that third game, that was the stage.
That big woman coach.
Oh.
I didn't like her.
Yeah.
Listen to everybody around the table. So, KG, I get a kick out of watching your dad. He is into it. Obviously, he's had a lot to do with shaping you and your success. And so, how did you... As a little girl, how did you go, that's what I want to do?
Well, actually, I didn't start pitching until I was 10, somewhere in that year. I was originally a third baseman, and I was actually catcher, fun fact. And
didn't know that.
And one of my coaches from my old travel ball team, she was like, I just want you to try. And I was just good at it. And so I was like, I guess I'll do it. And so I just started pitching and
I bet she was 180 miles an hour. Yeah, you'll do it.
And my dad just kind of helped me through it. We've definitely had our hard times, but he's molded me into the player I am today. So,
I've got a video of you. And I'm going to have Matt put it in this show. But I've got a video of you slow-mo pitching. And it looks scary. I've shown a lot of people. I've said, all right, this is our pitcher. This is my pitcher. And so I've shown it to them, and I said, keep watching. And they go, oh. And then after you throw the ball, I said, keep watching. And in slow-mo, it was strike 3. And in slow-mo, you go. It's oh my God. Then I've got a slow-mo of you swinging the bat, lifting one over the fence. I just happened to have the slow-mo on, and I got both of you guys doing that. So Ava, you're in the 10th grade. You're going in the 10th grade.
Yes.
And I don't want to embarrass you or jinx anything or anything, but I read in the state news, that the national high school record for home runs, girls softball, the national record is 75. And you have 3 more seasons, and you're at 40?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
You're at 40. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Wait, what team are we on? I don't know. You've hit 40 home runs, or maybe 41, but that'll give you a chance to not know. So 40 or 41, and I mean, man, as we get close, this is going to be like a Hank Aaron thing to me. I'm going to be following y'all going to every game.
But and I'm with you. I've compiled all the records and I've looked at them. But I think the great thing about, if I was an opposing coach, I wouldn't pitch to her.
No.
Or I'd be very careful as how I pitch to her. The beauty of our team is you can't walk her, because then you got to deal with them also.
Right. You can't pitch around her.
Yeah, you can't. And that's the beauty of it, is you have people in front and behind who protect. Like Caitlin Robertson last year had 21 doubles in the 4 slot. I mean, you just pick your poison. I mean,
right.
That's the beauty of it, is our 1 through whatever it is.
When you got 8th graders hitting home runs in state championship games against pitchers who are already committed to colleges. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
And pick your poison is right. There's a great picture I have seen of KG and Ava both holding 2 balls, because both of you hit 2 home runs in that game, in a single game. One of the first games I ever went to, I hate to be just like, but one of the first games I went to, Matt, your dad, my buddy, called and said, "Hey, they're playing up here at Gulf Shores." And so I thought, all right, well, what time? And he told me, and I said, I have an hour and a half before I have to do something. So 16 game, I'll probably see most of the game, So I get up there right as you're starting, and I have to leave, and you guys are still batting in the 2nd inning, and you've had like 4 home runs already, and it's like you got 15 or 16 points on the board, and I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Okay, so on April 5th, I went down to watch the game, just like, I'm in town, y'all are in town, you're playing, I'm going. And so I went down, and I get there, and I find out you're playing a team from Paducah, Kentucky that's ranked 6th in the nation, number 6. And I'm like, oh, wow. The second thing I thought was, I got a great buddy who lives in Paducah, Kentucky. So Jamie is a general manager of several radio stations and all like this. And so at 6:42 p.m., I send him a picture of the field. And I said, warming up, game time in 18 minutes, Paducah at Orange Beach, girls fast pitch. And I don't hear anything until like 8:30. And he says, sorry, I was busy. Oh, wow, so cool. And I said, McCracken High School. And he said, why are you there? Who do you know on the team? And I said, I don't know anybody on your team. I know everybody on the Makos. And he said, well, I didn't think you knew any of the Mustangs. So he's aware of who they are. It's just, he's got his sports information guys at the radio station. I put 5th in there. Maybe they were 5th in the nation. I said, did you know the Mustangs are ranked number 5 in the nation? He said, no. I said, y'all have 5 seniors started, and 2 of them are committed to big colleges. And he says, wow, I'm sure our sports guys knew that. I'm impressed that you know your entire team. And I said, yeah, we have 2 8th graders starting, 4 9th graders, 2 10th graders, and 1 junior. Little school, only 5,000 people in our town. He said, is the game already underway? Are they playing in a tournament? I said, it's already over. They stopped the game and invoked the mercy rule when it was 12-2. I said, I really felt sorry for the girls tonight. A lot of them were crying. He said, I take it McCracken won. I said, oh, heck no. It's your girls that were crying. Oh, my gosh. But that was an incredible game.
Yeah. And then they're coming back. We play them again this year. We get a lot of Kentucky teams, Tennessee teams that want to come down for their spring break. So I think we play 3 or 4 of Kentucky, Tennessee teams. So.
I walked by one of their coaches talking to some of their upset parents after that. I mean, because they had a ton of parents down. It was spring break, their big dog team, and they're coming down to the beach and going to wipe everybody out. But I walked by in the dark, and one of their coaches was telling these parents, okay, just know we will never play a team that hits better than this team.
I'd have to agree.
Yeah. So what's going on lately around here?
Well, we're obviously we're getting ready, but the city was nice enough. They're building us a hitting facility behind our field. And the funny story is, it's behind our left field. It's about 60 feet from the fence. So our fence is 200 feet. So it's a 260-foot shot to hit that building. And so Ford Hanley, who's the city administrator, who's, helping us get this completed, he made the comment, he said, now, if you guys hit this building twice, I'm going to have to, get some nets along the, and I just said, well, you better go ahead and order those nets. And he's like, really? I was like, oh, yeah.
Oh,
said,
yeah.
I've seen KG hit one to that beach, that ship out in the beach, that same where the kids play.
Yeah.
And I
Smith putting that up for the kids. Forget the building. Let's save the kids.
And I think Teagan hit the building the other night. And so I said, yeah, you might want to go ahead and just order those nets because there's going to be a lot of, we've talked about putting a bullseye on the building, but
you have to. You have to. And here's the thing. You have to, and then get and make it a target with like a 7 ring, an 8 ring, a 9 ring, and a bullseye, and then have it big, and then get sponsorships for those rings.
There you go. That's an idea.
Get sponsorships for those rings, and because we'll all have it on video. We can tell which ring it hit, and then the girls get something, and the team gets something for hitting the thing.
What was that movie? Was it Bull Durham that had the bullseye out there? And like, you win a steak dinner or something.
Yeah.
Maybe we get Big Mike's to sponsor.
Truly. So Ava, what you're the catcher, and I mean I'm watching. I always tell everybody when we're sitting in the stands, I say, okay, watch this. This is the last pitch, last warm up. Okay, watch her throw it down. And I mean, when I watch these other catchers, I mean, she's it's landing like right here, right above second base. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, we got both of them that, we swapped them. She played a little second while she caught. When she was catching, she played second. So, yeah, we're blessed to have 2 of them behind there. So,
Teagan, you remind me of that classic utility player in Major League, where the one that just plays everywhere and plays until he's 45 years old because he's so valuable because he can play every position. So,
yeah.
What do you like to play best?
Honestly, okay, so my 7th grade year, my 7th and 8th grade year, I played third most of it. And just recently this year or last year, I played second, and I've really grown to like second like a lot. I didn't think I would like it just because I've never played there and like it's new to me, but I've liked it a lot. It's fun because like, I don't know, we talk a lot and I just feel like I stay engaged a lot more. I feel like I'm in a lot more plays.
That's a team thing, and without the threat of having your head torn off with I watched you at third base one time this year, right? Was it this year? And man, there was a shot to you that you it was like a one hop shot, and you took that, threw that girl out at first, and I was like, oh my God. Yeah, and I'll tell you something else. I think when I watch you, I think I would stand in against you.
I wouldn't.
Now let me tell you why. I would stand in there because this is not saying like I'd fight Mike Tyson for $1 million. Well, yeah, you got $1 million, but you're dead.
You're dead.
But I would stand in against KG because she has great control. I didn't say I could hit her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't hit anything she throws, but I wouldn't be scared to stand there and watch, see how that feels, Where were you guys in a situation where you knew, because I've seen you get frustrated and you calm her down. I mean, that's the great thing about this team. They're all working with each other. Nobody's seeming to get aggravated with anybody. There's not a bunch of sniping going on, and everybody's encouraging everybody.
Yeah.
And
that, to me, that is, yeah. And I won't go into our conversations we've had 1,000 times, but that's what's different about this group is I've had teams before where they just did not get along. And it's a very long year. This has been, to me, great players, great people, great teammates.
great parents.
Yeah, there's no egos. That is, to me, why that this is a special group is, well, she gets all the attention. No, they're not. They want to win, and that's and it, to me as a coach, where you don't have a lot of drama, is the it's a blessing to be able to just go play. And most of the girls, that's our culture is kind of created that to where, yeah, we just. They're very, unselfish and just team first type mentality. And, somebody said, well, you guys are defending your we're not defending our state championship. That's ours. We're defending our culture, our standards, our work ethic. If they continue to do that, the rest will take care of itself. So that's the thing is if we can maintain that culture, these girls will win as many, they'll win 6, they'll win 5. And so that's the challenge is getting everybody to keep doing that, regardless of who gets, the notoriety or whatever, just team ball. And if they can do that, it's going to be fun.
Right.
So, and that's the challenge, especially in today's society where, everybody, they want their kid to shine, and it's
sure.
Our parent, Matt and my parents are great. So yeah, it makes me want to stick around.
Sure.
To be a part of it because it's not.
A dynasty is rare.
Very rare.
And there's no doubt you got a dynasty going here.
Yeah. So we're trying to protect it. I think Pisgah's won 5. Pisgah won 5 in a row. And there was 2 other schools that have done 4 in a row. So you're getting in rare air there when you're doing that.
What's the scary situation that you guys pitch and catching found yourself into?
Scary.
Oh, well, I don't know, scary, but maybe the tightest where you were like, we got to pull this off? And
Definitely, I think the Houston Academy game.
Yeah,
The
because
Houston Academy game
we had a
was
runner on third, and Brea was up, and she was a lefty,
Yeah.
and like she can hit outside because she's really tall, and we're like, so what do we throw
And we faced them probably. It's probably seen KG like
Yeah.
6 times already.
at that
So,
point? And so we're like, pop up, ground ball, something, curveball or rise ball.
I think we went curveball. No, screwball one time because she swung.
Yeah.
But then she didn't, and then she screamed at me.
yeah.
did you what?
Screamed at me. It was an intense game. It's fine.
Yeah.
The girl screamed at you?
Oh, yeah, it's okay.
yeah.
Why did she scream at you?
Because I asked to check
If she
if
swung.
she swung.
Oh.
Yeah, she
It's
screamed
okay.
at her.
But that was probably the scariest situation because it was like the last inning
And
it was
runner on
9 to
third.
10.
Right on
I did not
third.
want to go another inning.
Me either. I was tired, sore, like anybody would be, but
But no,
Yeah.
that was probably the only
that's
Scary
scary.
one.
Yeah.
I mean, I call her pitches, so we
Yeah.
get to talk. And
So what do you throw? How many different pitches do you throw? And what did they do? Tell us what they do.
Okay, so one of my go-tos is a curveball. So like if you have a righty, it like just it goes out, and then a screwball is like the exact opposite. I like to throw screwballs to righties if they're like on the plate, because then they'll move off, and then I can throw whatever I want. And then a changeup, a rise ball. It's kind of like self-explanatory. It just goes up.
Right.
And then very rarely do we throw a drop ball. Like, I think we throw a drop ball with like slappers because it's easy ground ball, chopper, Daigle over here, fast hands, throw out. So,
backdoor.
backdoor, yeah. It's like starts at the batter and then just curves out. It's kind of scary.
But yeah.
At least that's the hitter.
The thing that makes me laugh the most is when you throw a changeup and just screw them into the ground. I mean, they're just like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, you talk about just breaking somebody's ankles, man.
Especially when you're throwing upper 60s and then you come,
Yeah.
you know, you're expecting that, and then, yeah, you're way out front, and it's just, yeah. She's scary. So I've never had a pitcher that throws as hard as she
Well, you do.
does.
You know, I got to say that sitting in her day with you smiling and you look so sweet. I mean, because you're the one on the field that it's like, man, she is intense. You know, she is intense.
I love it when she strikes somebody out to end the inning and she's all fighting. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah.
I just see how much like my teammates put in work, and we talked about early in the season, like be a survivor, or commander,
Yeah.
and like that's one thing like I try to be as a commander because like we all work hard, and there's no point in putting hard work to waste. So
Yeah.
Have you guys? Have you ever thought about approaching a college coach and saying, "Okay, you can have us all. We're all going to stay together." I mean, that would be a college coach's dream, wouldn't it?
That's one thing not that I want to rush these next few years, but I'm looking to, 5-6 years from now,
Oh, you're
turning
gonna
on the
have some
TV and
games to
watching
go
them.
to.
They're all playing against each other. That's going to be really neat. So, yeah. But
A
we're
couple of you got to end up at the same school, though. I mean,
I don't know. We'll see. I mean,
yeah,
they're going to be rivals. I don't know what's going to happen.
yeah,
with them,
SEC rivals right there.
but yeah. Having 4 players in the SEC is going to be fun. I assuming if they go SEC. Yeah. So,
So what? It's just kind of a last couple of questions here. What life skills do you see that come out of this that you feel like sometimes that you're out in public or you're at a business or something and you feel like, hey, you guys need to come watch my team for a couple of hours to understand how to act or understand how to work as a team or understand how to get along. I mean, what life skills do you think are being radiated from these young ladies?
We had this conversation the other day in a coaches meeting that I have not once had the principal come to me and say, hey, one of your players is, acting up in class. Not once.
Right.
So, they've been raised right. They're phenomenal teammates. They're whatever they do outside of softball, they're gonna be the team players. Their work ethic is unbelievable.
Off the charts.
Yeah. I mean, it's off the charts, their work ethic. A lot of people think, well, it's January, it's time to pick up a softball. They never put it down. It's almost to the point where we tell them, hey, take some time. She played volleyball this year, bowling.
Bowling?
Hey, she's going to the state tournament next week.
Oh, my God.
Plays volleyball. I think that downtime is important because they're playing travel ball. So I'm not saying we treat them differently, but
But you are out of class this morning.
Well, yeah, but
thank you. That's to me. That's to me.
I can tell when they're tired,
Right.
So we kind of, we try to take care of them without treating them differently, but they're different.
I'm called a noticer in some circles, and so I do tend to observe and see little things. And one of the things that I saw this morning, a couple of things. One is you got here early. We actually made you wait, right? But you got here early. That's Bear Bryant time. If you're on time, you're late. Yeah. And so, but the other thing that was really, really cool is you didn't seem impatient. You didn't seem like, gosh, they're not ready. Gosh, we got things to do. And you went over here and sat down on the floor in a circle and were just talking and laughing. And I said to Coach Alexander, I said, I would offer them chairs, but I think they seem pretty happy. He said, oh, yeah, they're fine. But that is just, I don't know, you radiate love to each other. And when you can lose as a team rarely and win as a team constantly and not get full of yourselves or mad at somebody else for that's one thing that I saw too is, obviously there's mistakes, there's errors. And I never saw, when somebody would, miss a ground ball or the bad throw, I never saw KG show disgust or, gosh, what are you doing? And, you see this in the pros all the time, but and I see it, watch it, because now I'm watching college ball. I'm watching college fast pitch, because I'm trying to get ready for y'all to be there. But there is never any,
Yeah, I think too, part of our core values, obviously one of, the first one is family. We are a family. I tell people all the time I have 30 daughters now. 31 with Abby now.
Right,
but,
right.
It's, love and trust. But one of ours is positivity. You're going to make errors. We're not, I had a high school coach who was a screamer and I just felt tense playing all the time.
Right.
And I said, I never want to be that coach. So you boot an arrow, hey, boot it.
Right.
So we try to be positive on that level and, try not to put a whole lot of pressure on them. Just go play. You're good enough. So we try to keep things, on a positive level. And they do a good job, if she's pitching and somebody boots one, she said, hey, we'll get the next, that type of mentality of, next pitch, next batter, here we go. So, and hopefully they like that type of, I wouldn't want to play for a screamer.
Yeah. I wouldn't either.
So
where can people follow you? We want to put that on the show notes too, where people can keep up with you. We have people watch this all over the world.
I'm not a big social media guy, so we have what?
I think we have an Instagram. I think we have a Twitter. I don't know. We go softball.
Yeah, we have a Twitter.
Yeah.
We have a Twitter and an Instagram.
We do have Instagram.
Okay, and is it Orange Beach Makos or
I think it's like Makos
Mako
softball.
Yeah.
Like
Mako
underscore
softball.
softball.
okay? We'll find out.
And then Mako Athletics is our school.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to try to broadcast all our games this year on NFHS. We've got the camera, and so all the home games, if you're living in Paducah, Kentucky, you can watch.
Wow,
So we're going to try to do that this year. So yeah. But we'll be all over the state.
that is awesome. Well, thank you guys for being here. Thanks for all you do for our community, and I mean, you're great ambassadors.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I got a friend, a new friend I met the other night. That found out that his son is in the 11th grade, and I won't tell you his name because I don't want to embarrass him. But he says, "Oh yeah, I watch the softball team." You know, he's like, "Oh yeah." But anyway, thank you guys for being here, and let's go with number 4. I am getting seats in the stadium so I can bring people with me and build this fan base. And you guys, I mean, as many people as come down here for spring break, and as many people that come down just to visit during the year, get on board here. And I mean, the stadium is just right here on off Canal Road, and real comfortable, really great place to watch a game. And you know how people get fired up about college teams or pro teams. That's how fired up I am about this team. And so you need to come join this. But thank you guys for being with us.
Thank you.
Bye. I'm Andy Andrews, the professional noticer, harnessing common sense and wisdom to plow through challenges all the way to an answer for you. And I think that'll do it this week. Get us out of here, Matthew. So, ladies and gentlemen, and to the boys and girls who aspire to become ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of another episode of the Professional Noticer. In a world where common sense has become a superpower, I'm harnessing that tiny bit of mental energy I have for you, seeking wisdom, making observations, and endeavoring to answer tough questions in a way that will empower your family and your business. I'm Andy Andrews. Until next week, goodbye. This episode of The Professional Noticer was produced by Matt Limpert. The Noticer theme written and performed by Sugarcane Jane. Spinnerbaits for the cast and crew provided by Twinkle and Smoke of Beverly Hills. Additional financial consideration provided by closeassociation.com. Are you an entrepreneur with a new business you need to name? How would you like a name that is close enough to an established corporation that you'll get business just from the people who misspelled the big company's web address? It's doable with closeassociation.com. For instance, if you're starting a meter reading business, we suggest you call it General Meters. Say you have a company producing building trusses designed to turn against the wind and rain. Allow closeassociation.com to create a logo for First National Banking Trust. Whether you need a citrus business name, American Airlines, or a name for your new book, To Kill a Hummingbird, closeassociation.com can help. So log on now and be the first to create a veterinarian's administration in your hometown. Order now and we'll include the paperwork for your very own hospital, the VA. That's closeassociation.com.